McCain Elementary. It's Mrs. Roberts, and I'm here with Josh Grabski, and I'm at his farm. And as you can see, we have some friends behind us back here. And Josh has a beef farm, and he has a lot of cows. And what kind of cows are they, Josh?
They are all either 100% Angus or Angus cross.
Okay. And I notice they look a little bit different. Sometimes when I'm driving to work, I see cows, and there are many different types of cows. Do you know about how many different species of cows there are?
Well, I suppose it could be infinite in the sense that you can almost crossbreed any cow with any other cow. And now a new trend is they're starting to make crosses like dairy beef hybrids for different outcomes to be maybe used for one source of product for the first half of its life and then go towards meat production towards the end.
Okay, so not just milk cows and not just cows for beef. I know we have some students out there that also have farms and also like show animals sometimes at the fair, so maybe they have some of those answers for me. Can you tell us a little bit about what you do here on the farm?
Well, we buy everything from what's called in the industry, I guess, a feeder size or age. So typically things right after they're weaned from their mothers, and we raise them for whatever the allotted amount of time would be for them to get to market size, and then butcher. And here we actually take things all the way to retail and raise and sell from the farm.
Oh, hello.
Except for him.
Our friends want to be in the video too. And are cows gentle animals? Would you say, how would you describe their personality, cows?
Definitely inquisitive, and they're gentle in nature, but much like any animal, I guess from a farmer's perspective, no animal should be trusted 100%, but definitely gentle in nature.
That's good advice, because I know a lot of our kids like to touch animals, so we always want to be safe and make sure that it's okay, and we never want to scare them. Okay, so I did see that you do have a baby cow here, because that's what I want to ask, because I love baby animals, and I think the baby cow may have gone in, but I have some pictures I'm going to attach on Seesaw for you guys. And we talk a lot in health about keeping our bodies healthy and, signs of health. How can you tell that your cows are healthy?
Cows are extremely easy to tell if they're healthy, because almost anytime they get an elevated temperature, which happens with any kind of illness, disease, infection, anything of that nature, they start to drool and their nose runs and they cough. There are some strains of colds that can pass from humans to cows and cows to humans. So it's them being in a herd. If one's sick, generally they're all sick. Fresh air is typically what keeps them healthy. And once you notice essentially an elevated temperature through a runny nose, it usually runs its course in a week or so, unless there is some sort of infectious bovine disease in the area, which in my lifetime there hasn't been, but really just looking at them you can tell their general health.
I'm going to ask you this because I know some of my students may ask this, because there's a lot of talk about COVID and the kids have a lot of questions about COVID, and they said, people have wondered if they could be passed to animals. Do you know anything about that, if that's possible or if it doesn't happen? Or I know it's a new disease.
And as of right now, I mean, I think it's generally known that it's started from animals and was transferred to humans, which I believe any disease that has to go to humans at some point has passed through pigs and has been mutated through pigs to be able to accept human genetics and attack human genetics.
Interesting.
So I'm not sure if that was determined about COVID or not, but we're not sure about the cattle and COVID-19, but I've heard that it has been passed to certain animals, so I would assume that cattle, at least at some point, will be susceptible.
Okay, well thank you for answering that, because I know a lot of my kids have questions about that, so maybe they'll even find out and give me some answers. So as we know, beef is a protein. It comes from the protein food group. Our muscles are made of protein, and we need to eat foods from all the food groups to stay healthy. And so I know my McCain kids are already thinking in their heads right now about our 5 food groups and what they are, because I'm going to ask you. And beef is considered red meat, and some people think it's not healthy to eat it and that it's expensive. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Well, I think the health of red meat is a little bit, it's a little bit of a misnomer. I think red meat, if properly utilized in a diet, would not be any more unhealthy than anything else in excess. I think red meat has a different percentage of your diet that it should take up than other things like vegetables or maybe a leaner meat, but as far as being inherently unhealthy by itself, probably not.
Probably portion, like the size of a pack of cards or your hand.
Yep.
Yeah.
I think if compared to other proteins, I think a smaller portion size of red meat probably would be more applicable for most people. And as far as being expensive goes, it possibly in portion size and nutrient density, as far as the amount of nutrients in an ounce of red meat versus other proteins, I think that if properly raised beef would be actually cheaper than other sources of protein.
Okay, thank you. And I have a question because I know, I'm just assuming, I'm not a farmer,
Sure.
that when you're living on a farm and you're doing work like this, that it's really important that you're physically fit. Can you tell us a little bit about like your day and how much physical activity you get?
Well, I think most of the day consists of either the necessity of being physically fit or is helping you become more physically fit. It's definitely necessary to do a job like this to stay healthy, to be physically fit. Also, I think that question posed, I think that almost every job you need to be physically fit for. Even if it may not require being physically fit, I think it helps you be mentally fit to be physically fit. So
I agree because if you're feeling better, you're going to be more productive and your day is going to go better. So I agree no matter what your job is. Okay. So basically, can you just give us a quick rundown of what your day might be like? Like what do you do during your day as far as like keeping the cows in order, and what's your day like?
well, one small beauty of being a farmer is no 2 days are the same. Every day could consist of something different. A lot of times, the actual keeping of the animals kind of comes in spurts. So I may not have to really tend to the animals at all for a month or so. If it's the summer and they have ample water and there's plenty of grass, they don't really need anything other than to essentially be left alone. So I do bring them in at night. I don't lock them in, but they come in at night, and I try to be around them as much as possible throughout the year to keep them used to people and things of that nature. But most of my personal job probably is tending to the store and sort of the end product of what we raise here.
Preparing the meats and all the good yummy stuff that I can smell right now.
Yep.
Well, thank you very much, Josh, and it was a pleasure coming out to your farm and learning about what beef farmers do, and to see the baby cow was really nice. I like that. So thank you, and we'll see you in Seesaw.
Thanks.